Shares of Huntington Ingalls Industries closing lower by 3.5% following an investor day meeting today. The company warning that its cash flow guidance could take longer to achieve than previously expected. This comes on the heels of the company reporting mixed Q4 earnings last week. Joining us for more is Mike Petters, Huntington Ingalls CEO, as well as our own Morgan Brennan. Morgan, over to you.
Thanks, Will. Mike Petters, it's great to have you here. Welcome.
Great to be back. Thank you for having me.
So on CNBC, we talk a lot about autonomous cars, but we're seeing that technology developed underwater as well. And I bring it up because unmanned undersea vehicles, you're betting big on that recent acquisition. And also it was, I think, a hot topic in the investor day today. So I'm wondering what your outlook for that is and how you see that integrating with the mix of Huntington Ingalls' more traditional businesses, manned ships, things like aircraft carriers, destroyers, nuclear submarines.
Well, that's a long topic and a big discussion, but we see that this is a product we think that the more the Navy uses it, the more they're going to want to use it, and it's a range from very small autonomous unmanned undersea vehicles to very large ones. And our acquisition of Hydroid gave us a chance to actually play in a space that's smaller than where we're playing today. You know, we're kind of in the big end of this. And we see these platforms as being amplification of the platforms that we build, and we're very excited about that.
What's your outlook for defense spending, especially since we got that fiscal 2021 budget proposal from the White House last week, and in it, the Navy is proposing a cut to the shipbuilding budget?
Yeah, year over year, the proposal was a cut, but the actual number is still historically high compared to like the last 30 years. The budgets are typically, and more so in the last 3 or 4 years than I've seen before, they've been driven by strategy. The national security strategy has been driving the budget. They're making trade-offs, and the budget submission is just the first step in a process that we go through every year to get to an appropriation. And there's trade space there, and we'll see how it all works itself out. I'm pretty optimistic about where we are, though, right now.
Roger Crone from Leidos was on CNBC earlier today, and he seemed pretty upbeat that we could see some sort of budget get sussed out before the presidential election. Do you share that?
I do.
Really?
I agree with that. I think what you're going to see is, the Congress is going to be very interested. They're already working, and they're going to move forward to get this done as quickly as they possibly can.
There's a story today that jet engines from GE sales to China might get banned. Another one of the examples of where the U.S. administration has fears that the Chinese steal intellectual property. How easy is that to do with physical sort of defense-related equipment versus technology IP theft? And has China caught up the pace? How good is the quality
well,
there?
I think that all of us in the defense space have felt like we've been under attack for many years on this, and it's not about taking product, it's about taking designs and intellectual property. And so, we get to a place where we certify something that meets a formal military requirement. That's not something we dreamed up last night. That's something that we put years of work into, and then to have that evaporate into the space where somebody else doesn't have to do the years of work and they just have the answer, that's not fair. So we're very sophisticated in the way that we guard and protect our information, and have really been on the front edge of that. So
how good is China's military technology now?
Well, I think they're good. I think you have to give them credit for the way that they've come along. They're very focused. They're focused in their region. But I also think that, if you actually were going to have something that turned into a bad day, I think that there's no question that we're still in ship for ship, we're in a much better place than they are. But it's not about that. It's really about demonstrating presence. If one of our allies sees a Chinese ship somewhere, the next question is, well, where's the American ship? You're my ally. Where's your ship? And so that's the game that's going on. It's not really kinetic towards each other.
Yeah, to that point, just to wrap this up, I mean, Wall Street's been focusing on margins, free cash flow, and how quickly those increases in those metrics could actually manifest. I think it's the reason we saw the stock slip today and is down more than 11% over the last week on reported earnings. However, Huntington Ingalls is also sitting on a record $46 billion backlog that stretches into the next decade. I mean, given the fact that you have such an elevated level of certainty or visibility over the coming years, what do you see as the biggest risks?
Well, I think that first of all, we work to ensure that we execute well, and we want the street to have confidence that we're going to execute to the best of our ability on that backlog. The next risk is the industry has to be in a place where it can support wherever the government wants to go with its capabilities. We're investing in that and working very hard to create that agility to do that. But we're in a time frame where there's going to be some vibration on that. So we're going to be kind of watching that pretty closely.